Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to Vanti Sessions, my dear friend. Today we are going to start with a new chapter that is quadratic equation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, my dear friends, as you know that quadratic equation was a basically in your class 10th also. It was a chapter number 4, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, but in class 11, it's have different approach and different importance. So, firstly, let me understand what's the importance of your quadratic equation. What are the topic today we are going to discuss? Today we will learn what is basically quadratic equation, what is the relationship between roots and their coefficient, and what will be the nature of roots. We will discuss only these topics. Clear? Right? So why it's important from because quadratic equation is not a part of your NCRT syllabus. It's not a part of your class 11 syllabus. Remember, if you go through the
Yes,
syllabus,
ma'am.
you never seen quadratic equation in any chapter in your syllabus, right? But in class, when we talk about JEE, the quadratic equation is having different approach and different importance because in this, see, in 24 papers, 18 question were there. In 22 papers, 21. It means approximately one question in each paper. Can you see? Got it? So it means, so can anyone tell me what is a quadratic equation? Yes, what is a quadratic equation?
Highest power of the expression is 2.
Okay. When we are saying highest power of expression is 2, that is called quadratic polynomial. When we are talking about equation, that means it in equals to is there. Their equation is equals to 0, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When you say that any equation ax square plus bx plus c, you can see that maximum power is 2. So when the maximum power is 2 is called a quadratic equation. So what are roots? What
It
are roots?
makes the equation equal to zero.
Okay, means that satisfies your equation. What do you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can anyone tell me what is quadratic formula?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
yes, tell me.
Minus
Minus.
minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a.
Great. So this was the concepts we have done in class 10th, right? So there are different topics. We will learn some different topics, different aspects. Very first, what is a polynomial? Everyone knows from you that whenever we have an expression whose every x power is going to be a integral value, positive integral value, that is called a polynomial. When the polynomial degree is 2, it is called a quadratic polynomial. When your polynomial is equated with 0, that is called a quadratic equation. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, a most important topic that you never have seen, what was that? There are two things. One is identity, one is equation. So, my dear students, what is identity? When all values, any value that satisfy means there is no restriction that only these two values will satisfy, only these values. So, when all values will satisfy my equation, that is called a identity. When some particular values means if the power is 2 maximum quadratic equation is there, so you can say only two values will satisfy my equation, right? So that is called quadratic equation. So there's two values are called roots. Just have a look. When you're talking about quadratic equation, you will have two roots. When you're talking about linear equation, you will have one root. When there is a contradiction, you can say it's no root. But what is identity? When your equation is having infinite root. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So now we are talking about relationship between roots and the coefficient. Remember, you have done in class 10th, what was that? That ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 if alpha and beta are two roots of my equation. Then what would I can say? I can say alpha plus beta, that means sum of roots is minus b upon a. And product of roots is c upon a. How many of you know that? Everyone knows? Great. So, my dear friends, when you're talking about in class 11, what's a different thing? See, you already told me there is a quadratic formula and there is a value of d, discriminant, that is b square minus 4ac, right? In PSR, you know that sum is alpha plus beta, that is minus b upon a. Versal product is alpha into beta, that is c upon a. So, one new result was generated that was important. Alpha minus beta's modulus is under root d upon a modulus. Noted?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? Or in fact, I can say alpha minus beta's whole square is d upon a square. Noted or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Sum is known, product is known. Difference is calculated. Clear? So let's have one question to move ahead. Dear Bacha Party, let's say there's a coefficient of x in quadratic equation was taken at 17 in place of 13. It means value of p was taken at 17 but it was 13. When it was taken as 17, its roots are, what were the roots? Its roots are minus 2 and minus 15. Question is clear? So if roots are minus 2 and minus 15, it means my equation should be x square plus 17x plus 30 is equals to 0. Yes or no? So when I'm talking about the new roots, it means x square when the p is 13. So 13p plus 30 is equals to 0. So can you factorize? It should be x square plus 10p plus 3p plus 30 is equals to 0. So my dear bacho, x must be, there is, what was that? It's 17 x na? P should be. So you will have x should be minus 10 or minus 3. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt? Anyone, any confusion? Hey everyone, Ritik, Tanisha, clear? Gurmannat, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when we are having alpha and beta are the roots of quadratic equation, find the quadratic equation. So my dear bacha party, if alpha and beta are its roots, then you can say ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. It means alpha plus beta should be minus b upon a and alpha into beta is c upon a. Agree? When we are talking about part 1, so 2 alpha plus 2 beta, that should be 2 into alpha plus beta and that is equals to minus 2b upon a. In the same way, 2 alpha into 2 beta. So that must be 4 alpha beta and that must be equals to 4c upon a. Agree?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many of you know that x square minus sx plus p is equals to 0? It's a equation of a quadratic when sum and product is known. So x square minus 2 minus minus plus 2b upon ax plus 4c upon a is equals to 0. So this must be my new quadratic equation whose roots are 2 alpha and 2 beta. Right, Gurmannat?
Yes, ma'am.
Tanisha, Pyasa, Gaurav, Ritik,
Yes,
Ditya,
ma'am.
Aditya clear? Anurag
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
Okay. So how many of you will going to answer me for this question? Take 2 minutes of time and answer me this. Hurry up, hurry up. हाँ जी, बोलिए। रेडी? यस, रेडी? Yes, ready to answer? Okay, Ronak.
Ma'am, the first one is p square minus q.
Okay.
Ma'am, it's p square minus 2q.
Yeah. See, very first, everyone must attempted that alpha plus beta's whole square minus 2 alpha beta. And from this equation, I can write it as alpha plus beta is minus p and alpha into beta is q. Right, dear? So p square minus 2q. And for the second one, alpha beta's whole square, it means q square. Is it correct for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Any confusion, any doubt? Yes, no? No, na? Okay. Ready for the next question? They said x square plus px plus 45 is equals to 0. It is given that square of difference of its roots is equals to 144. Take your time. Okay, Ronak? Gurmanat, ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Divya is not there, na? Harini, Divya. हरिए बच्चों.
Ma'am, the value of p is plus minus 18.
Okay. Anyone else? Ready for the answer? Everyone. Deva Youth is there? Sakshi? Okay. Ready, everyone? Answer. So, what was the answer? What's the approach? Pyasa done? Aditya, done?
Ma'am, we have to put the difference formula.
Okay, it means alpha minus beta whole square is given to me 144. And I can rewrite it as alpha plus beta's whole square plus 4 alpha beta minus 4 alpha beta, that must be equals to 144. Agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So this equation gave me alpha plus beta is minus p and alpha into beta is 45. So it means p square minus 4 into 45 is equals to 144. So p square is equals to 144 plus 180. So p square is equals to 324. So p must be plus minus 18. Agree? It means x square plus 18p plus 18x plus 45 is equals to 0. X square minus 18x plus 45 is equals to 0. Clear? Can you find the values for these two? So you will get the two values. One is minus 3 and 15. Another one is 3 and 15. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Hanji, clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone is having any doubt? Saurabh, yesterday also you came in the class, na? In Hindi batch. Yes, friends. Ready for this question? Don't take so much time. Just try to implement, and if not able to do, then let me know that I'm not able to do. Ready? So, my dear bacha party, can you see alpha square is 5 alpha minus 3? In the same way, beta square is 5 beta minus 3. Can you see it is just look like x square is equals to 5x minus 3. It means x square minus 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. That is having two roots. One is alpha, one is beta. Is it clear to everyone? So alpha plus beta is actually 5 and alpha into beta is 3. Clear or not? I need to find the roots of equation whose roots are. So sum of roots is alpha upon beta plus beta upon alpha. It means alpha square plus beta square upon alpha beta. And I can rewrite it as alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta divided by alpha into beta. Yes or no? 25 minus 6 divided by 3. So it means 19 by 3. And product of roots is alpha upon beta into beta upon alpha. That is going to be 1. So you just see when the product is 1 and sum is plus 19 upon 3. Option D is giving you right answer. Clear everyone? Actually, I can't hear you guys. I don't know you are speaking or not.
Ma'am, can you please explain again?
Yeah, sure. See, two things are given to me. One is alpha square is equals to 5 alpha minus 3 and another one is beta square is 5 beta minus 3. Right, dear?
Yes,
From
ma'am.
these two
Ma'am.
equations, I got to know that either it's a equation whose same equations are there, only variable is changed. It means it's a common equation which is having two roots. One is alpha, another is beta. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Using this equation, I can find the sum and product of roots.
Ma'am,
Right.
where we get the x, I can't understand that.
In place of a x alpha, or in place of beta, anything. See, when you just replace x with alpha, so can you see? You will get x square is equals to 5x minus 3.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's just giving me the hint that it is an equation which is having two roots. One is alpha, another is beta. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone, can we move ahead? Okay, Aditya said clear. Avni clear. Great. So next, it was a question came in 2019. I will give you 2 minutes of time. Just go through it and just solve the question. Take your time. Ready to answer? Yes, ready to answer everyone? Any idea? Any approach? Okay. Gitika is ready with the answer. PSS said can't do this one. Okay. So Gitika, can you explain? Gitika, can you unmute yourself to explain? So dear, firstly we need to write this equation again. That was 3x square 3 minus lambda into x plus 2 minus lambda is equals to 0. Is it clear? So they said find the value of lambda such that sum of square of the roots of the quadratic equation has least value. Got it? What it means? Sum of roots alpha plus beta is actually lambda minus 3. Alpha into beta is 2 minus lambda. Clear? This is sum of
Yes, ma'am.
square of the roots. It means alpha square plus beta square. I can rewrite it as alpha plus beta's whole square minus 2 alpha beta. It means lambda minus 3 whole square minus 2 into 2 minus lambda dear. It means lambda square plus 9 minus 6 lambda minus 4 plus 2 lambda. So it must be equals to x lambda square minus 4 lambda plus 5. I can even rewrite it as lambda square minus 4 lambda plus 4 plus 1. It means lambda minus 2 whole square plus 1. Agree? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, Manat, clear? So if I need to find the
Yes.
minimum value, it means this should be 0. If this is going to be 0, so the minimum value of this expression must be 1. So answer should be 1. So Gitika was right. Great, Gitika. Clear, everyone? अरे भाई कुछ तो बोलो.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
चलिए सी द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. The ratio of the roots x square plus px plus q is equals to 0 is equals to ratio of the roots. It means if the roots of this equation they are alpha and beta and roots of this equation is gamma and delta. Right, Aditya? So Gaurav, they said alpha upon beta is equals to gamma upon delta. So how many of you remember that we learned componendo and dividendo? So I can rewrite it as alpha plus beta, alpha minus beta is equals to gamma plus delta divided by gamma minus delta. What do you say? है भाई कोई डाउट यहाँ तक?
No, ma'am.
So I can
Clear.
it on both sides. Alpha plus beta's whole square is because alpha plus beta is equals to minus p. Alpha into beta is q. Gamma plus delta is going to be minus b. And gamma into delta is equals to c. Right? So, how many of you remember we learned the formula alpha minus beta also, that was root d upon a, right? So, alpha plus beta is minus p, so p square. Alpha minus beta, what I can rewrite? I can rewrite it as p square minus 4ac is equals to, in the same way, b square divided by b square minus 4ac, right or not? Just cross multiply p square b square b square minus 4c p square is equals to b square p square minus 4q b square. So this is cancelled, negative is cancelled. C p square is equals to q b square. What you say? Agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone having any doubt, any confusion? Then let me know. यहाँ तक. कोई भी query? Till there any confusion? Okay. So these are the some important facts about the quadratic equation. What were they? Very first is everyone knows that alpha is the root of the equation, then it will give you a function to be 0. It means their polynomial is exactly divisible by x minus alpha. Next, if the equation is nth degree and it has exactly n roots. When you say it is having more than n roots, then it is called an identity. Remember?
Yes.
So if the equation is giving alpha plus beta as one root, then another should be its conjugate alpha minus iota beta. If one root is alpha plus beta, then another one is alpha minus root iota beta. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's have a look. If you are having higher degree, just remember when you talk about, just look at the board. Ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. You know its maximum degree is 2. So there it is having two roots alpha and beta.
Yes.
Right, Gurmadri? So alpha plus beta
Yes.
is exactly minus b upon a PSA.
Yes, ma'am.
Alpha into beta is c upon a, right? See, we every time we are starting from the coffee next, just next to highest degree. Now, sum of roots is again next to higher degree minus b upon a. Sum of product of roots is just next to this c upon a. Then product is minus d. Just look negative, positive, negative. Clear or not?
Yes.
Just got the same rhythm how to work, right, Gitika?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Abhisha clear?
Yes, ma'am.
गॉडजिला भाई गॉडजिला जी अपना सही नाम बता दीजिए. रोहित क्लियर?
मैम अगर इक्वेशन में नेगेटिव साइन हो और हम प्लस माइनस प्लस करें तो उसपे नेगेटिव ही आ जाता है.
नहीं हाँ वो चेंज होगा. देखो अभी हम क्वेश्चन करेंगे. अब जब हायर डिग्री हो गया, अब यहाँ पे कितनी मैक्सिमम पावर 4, तो इसके कितने रूट्स होंगे बच्चे? 4. सम कितना हो जाएगा? नेक्स्ट से शुरू करिए माइनस बी अपॉन ए. सम ऑफ प्रोडक्ट कितना हो जाएगा? दो दो का सी अपॉन ए. फिर तीन तीन का सम ऑफ प्रोडक्ट माइनस डी अपॉन ए, तो यहाँ पे चारों का प्रोडक्ट प्लस ई अपॉन ए हो जाएगा। क्लियर?
यस मैम।
अब देखिए, अब जो आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा, कहते हैं यहाँ पे आपको ना एक इक्वेशन दे रखी है, राइट गुरमन्नत? देखिए, आपको इस क्वेश्चन को पहले सही से लिखना है। 2x³ माइन प्लस 0x² माइनस 5x प्लस 1 इज इक्वल्स टू 0. This should be the right way to write this equation. Clear? And the equation asked me sum of roots. It means alpha plus beta plus gamma. What you learn just next to the degree. It means 0. So answer should be 0, but
Yes, ma'am.
clear to everyone? Any doubt?
Yes ma'am.
See how to attempt this question. Require 2 to 3 minutes. What, sir? Or ma'am will solve it. Or you want to solve, everyone? Just give me a... Okay, what sir wants to solve? तो बच्चे लेट मी नो, गॉडजिला कौन है? रोहन। ओके रोहन, इससे पहले आप क्लास में आए हो कभी? नो। आज कितने बच्चे नए आए हैं? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर अटेंडिंग दैट सेशन फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम? मुझे कुछ बच्चे नए नए से लग रहे हैं। अनुराग पांडे, ओके। अनुराग पांडे है, रोहन है। एनीवन एल्स? ठीक है, तो those who are joining first time, are they facing any issue, problem? Able to understand? Okay. So, can you tell me the approach, anyone, for this question? No? गुरमन्नत, क्या कहते हो? बनी अप्रोच दिया?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let me help you, everyone. If I multiply it by alpha and divide by alpha, any problem?
No ma'am.
No,
Multiply
ma'am.
beta and multiply by beta, any doubt? If multiplied by gamma divided by... So can we look, alpha is common, beta is common, gamma is common, and we left with 1 minus 1 upon alpha beta gamma's whole power 3. How many of you agree? And from the given equation, alpha beta gamma is going to be, see, Gurmannak, just Priyasa, just check negative, positive, negative. So minus r should be there.
Yes ma'am.
So minus r into 1 minus 1 upon minus r raised to power 3. It means minus r minus 1, r plus 1 divided by r whole power 3. It means 1 plus r whole cube divided by r square, and negative is outside. So this only I need to prove. Quite easy, Aditya. Gaurav? Rohan,
Yes
clear?
ma'am.
Abhisha, clear? So Sameer, this question I'm allotting everyone as a homework. Noted?
Okay ma'am.
Okay. So now we are moving ahead with the nature of roots. How many of you already learned in the class 10 that we are talking about D? One time D is 0, one was D was greater than 0, and another was D was less than 0. Remember? When D was 0, we used to say that equal and real roots. When greater than 0, you can say real and distinct roots. Remember? And when d is negative, we used to say non-real roots. Remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So it means for quadratic equation, and to check the nature of quadratic equation, firstly I need to calculate d. If d is positive, then it must have real and distinct roots. When equals to 0, then real and equal roots. When d is negative, then it has non-real roots. And when you are talking about non-real roots, you will have a complex conjugate. यानी कि one is alpha plus iota beta, then another one is alpha minus iota beta. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So there was a question in JEE mains related to this nature of roots. The question was the number of integral values of m. The number of integral values of m for which the equation has no real roots. Dear student, this no real roots will give you what hint? If no real roots, it means d should be
Less than 0.
wow. So just wow, less than 0. It means 4 into 1 plus 3 m whole square minus 4 into 1 plus m square into 1 plus 8m. So less than 0. We will just solve this inequality and calculate the m. So how many the value of integral values of m you got? Either it's 1, 2, 3 or infinite many. That going to be your answer. Clear? Yes or no? Any doubt?
Ma'am, can you explain again?
Sure. See, we are having no real roots. No real roots means d must be less than 0, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So formula for d is b square minus 4ac is equals to 0, less than 0. So this is a, this is b, and this is c. So b square is going to be 4 into 1 plus 3m whole square
Yes, ma'am.
minus 4 into a into c. Clear? Right, Avni? So from here, I can calculate the values of m. See, when you solve this equation, you will get m is greater than 0. So it means if m is greater than 0, you can't count then how many values of m are possible.
Yes, ma'am.
So answer should be infinite values.
मैम इसके अंदर m की
Yes,
वैल्यू
ma'am.
हाफ क्यों नहीं हो सकती?
हाफ क्यों नहीं हो सकती? तो जब आपने देखा कि भाई m आपने कैलकुलेट करा और देखिए from here you get the relation that 2m into 2m minus 1 whole square greater than 0. This equation is having already 0. Can you see? Positive. So if I put m is positive or negative, it will doesn't affect my relation. Getting my point? So 2m minus 1, because it's having even degree, so Diya, it's not going to be the deciding factor for the value of m. Getting my point? So you left with only m. If m is positive, then the answer should be positive. अगर m आपका नेगेटिव होगा तो आंसर नेगेटिव होगा और मुझे चाहिए पॉजिटिव, तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ m आएगा जिसमें आप बोलोगे पॉजिटिव वैल्यू होगी, क्योंकि जिसकी पावर इवन हो जाती है वो कभी डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर होता ही नहीं है, वो कभी आपके इक्वेशन के सोल्यूशन को डिसाइड ही नहीं कर सकता. क्लियर है?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have a question. Just have a look. One root of equation is 4. You're having an equation x square plus px plus 12 is equals to 0. If it's one root, let's say alpha is 4. So 4 must satisfy this equation. So 16 plus 4p plus 12 is equals to 0. So p must be minus 7 or not. Well, the equation. So x square plus px plus q is equals to 0 and it is having equal roots. When it written that equal root, what it represent? Equal roots means when you're talking about equal roots, so what should become to your mount? What?
D equals to 0.
Ah, wow. So d must be 0. It means p square minus 4q must be equals to 0. Value of p is minus 7. So 49 minus 4q is equals to 0. So dear friends, Q must be 49/4. Is the answer is clear? Any doubt in this question? Harshal, Harsh, Gurmannat.
मैम अगर हम अल्फा बीटा इक्वल्स टू 12 और उसके अंदर अल्फा को 4 पुट करें देन तो हमें वैल्यू ऑफ बीटा मिल सकती है, तो
बेटे
उससे भी हम पी निकाल सकते हैं।
हाँ देखो, आपने जो बोला दैट्स ऑल्सो करेक्ट। आप बोल रहे हो कि आप अल्फा प्लस बीटा को आपने माइनस पी लिया, ठीक, और आपने अल्फा इंटू बीटा को 12 ले लिया। अल्फा को आपने अगर 4 माना तो बीटा इज इक्वल टू 3 आ गया।
यस मैम।
अब आपके पास अल्फा को आपने 4 माना था, बीटा को 3 मान ले, दैट इज माइनस पी। तो पी की वैल्यू तो अगेन -7 ही आई ना।
ओके मैम।
क्लियर?
यस।
नेक्स्ट देखिए, find the k if this equation becomes a complete square. Dear students, complete square means the equation is having equal roots. Just look at the screen. We just given the one hint. It is not a perfect square. When the quadratic is a complete square, see when it is having equal roots, right? When your quadratic is having complete square, it means it is having equal roots. If it is having equal root, d is equals to 0. How many agree? 2 minus k is whole square minus 4 into k minus 2 upon 4. That must be equals to 0, right? So 4 plus k square minus 4k minus 4k, okay, minus 4k minus 2 plus 2 is equals to 0. It means k square minus 8k plus 6 is equals to 0. Right or not?
यस मैम।
Everyone agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So can we factorize this part? Definitely not, na?
Yes, ma'am.
So we need to apply the formula, that means 8 plus minus under root 64 minus 24 divided by 2. So 8 plus minus under root 40 divided by 2. So 40 is going to be 4 is common, 2 is outside. So 8 plus minus 2 root 10 divided by 2. It means 4 plus minus root 10. So can you see one equation is 4 plus root 10, another one is 4 minus root 10. Clear? Okay. Yes, dear. Anyone having any confusion till there?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. See the next one. They said if the roots of the equation are real and distinct. So real and distinct give you what? It means,
d greater than 0।
wow. Very first thing, whenever you see this factor na, x4 plus x square plus 1, this will be factorized. Anyone know what will be the factorization for this? Anyone having any idea? No? It's a special case. If I can rewrite it as x square 4 plus 2x square plus 1 minus x square, is there any change in the equation? So x square plus 1's whole square minus x square. Can you see? It can be factorized. X square plus 1 minus x, x square plus 1 plus x. How many of you agree? And this point to be noted, how to factorize x ki power 4 plus x square plus 1. Noted? So it means a minus 1 into x power square plus x plus 1, diya clear, is equals to a plus 1 into x square plus x plus 1, x square minus x plus 1. Raise your hand who is having doubt. So one factor is cancelled. Yes dear, बोलिए क्या डाउट है?
मैम ये लास्ट वाला स्टेप ऑफ जब
हाँ,
आपने फैक्टराइज किया।
मतलब देखिए ये एक स्पेशल केस है. मैंने क्या करा, मैंने इसमें एक्स स्क्वायर ऐड कर दिया, एक्स स्क्वायर सब्ट्रैक्ट कर दिया. क्लियर?
यस मैम।
अब आपको दिख रहा है कि फैक्टराइज हो गया.
हाँ जी मैम।
अब मेरे को ये पता चल गया कि जब भी मेरे को कहीं पे एक्स रेज टू पावर 4 प्लस एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 1, so Piazza, what I need to do, Vatsal, I must rewrite it as in the factor that x square plus x plus 1. Another factor is x square minus x plus 1. Noted?
यस मैम।
So one factor is cancelled. It will give me ax square plus ax plus a minus x square minus x minus 1. That must be equals to ax square minus ax plus a plus x square minus x plus 1. Noted? See, ax
Yes,
square is cancelled. A is cancelled. X is cancelled, right? So we just left with 2x square minus 2ax plus 2 is equals to 0. It means x square minus ax plus 1 is equals to 0. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this equation is having real and distinct roots. It means b must be greater than 0. So b square, a square minus 4 must be greater than 0. That only you need to prove. Noted?
Yes, ma'am.
So dear, if this factorization does not come to my mind, or it is not known to me or taught to me, that will become little cumbersome for me because it will give me a too big value to solve, right? So just mark it on your notebook that you always remember x raised to power 4 plus x square plus 1 should be converted to two factors. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, mom.
Okay. Just have a look in the next part, how you will see the next question. I will just give you the hint because we need to do cover some PYQs. They said roots of the equation are equal. If the roots of the equation are equal, then prove that they are in AP. So if the roots of the equation are equal, you can see the sum of root is 0. Yes or no?
Yes, mom.
And product should be 1. So from here you will calculate that is in AP. Just look at the after the class. Now, it was a question in 2023 in JEE, right? Just in the last JEE attempt. What was the question? Whenever you find that x square plus 1 upon x square, can you convert it into x plus 1 upon x whole square minus 2? Or you can convert it as x minus 1 upon x whole square plus 2. How many of you agree? Agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So what I can rewrite? I can rewrite it as x plus 1 upon x whole square minus 2. I think someone's having doubt that why it's plus only, why not minus? How many of you want to know that? That why it's plus only, not minus? See, just look at the question. Will it include plus or minus?
Or common factor.
Yeah. So x plus 1 upon x can be taken as t. So 3 into t square minus 2t plus 5 is equals to 0. Just solve for t. Then put t here. You will calculate the value for x. Clear? Anyone having any doubt? Navya, Piasa, Pujitha?
Ma'am, clear.
Okay. So this was a question in 2023 only on the 25th Jan. I'm assigning this question as homework and very well keep it in mind. I will ask this question in the recap of the next class. Clear? Just ready
Okay,
with
ma'am.
it. This is again two questions we need for the recap, and these were the questions that we asked in the recap. So be ready for that. Agree? So there are some basic questions based upon equation, identity, and roots of equation, right? See, very first question will give you the hint of identity. Find the number of value of p if this equation possesses more than two roots. See, maximum power of x is maximum power of x is 2.
2.
So it is a quadratic equation.
Yes, ma'am.
For the equation to be the quadratic, it must have maximum two roots.
Yes, ma'am.
But if the
Yes, ma'am.
equation is having more than this power, it means it is not an equation, it is,
Identity.
or if it is an identity, then all the values are equals to 0. Coefficients of x, k are x, and constant should be equals to 0. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. So these are the some basic questions given on the today's topic. So can anyone tell me what was the concept you learned today? Is there anything different you learned today, or it's the same?
Difference of roots of equation.
Okay.
Nature of roots.
Nature of roots. Okay. Then we relation between roots, higher degree relation, right? Then
Yes,
you
ma'am.
learn equation. You learn how identity is different from equation, right? Okay. Can you do you learn how to implement these concepts in your JEE questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So can you answer this question? You need to prove. Can you tell me the one approach that what I need to convert this equation?
We have to factorize that one first.
Wow. So what should be the factors?
X square plus x plus 1 and x square
minus
plus 1 minus x.
Okay, wow. So just great. I just used to put the same question. That's why, because I want to see how many of were active in the class. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
So next class going to be a very different session for you, because these two things you never listened about, or even don't know the things that Newton's formula will come in quadratic equations and common roots. What was the concept, right? In the next class, we will cover these two topics, Newton's formula and common roots. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Any
Okay.
doubt, any confusion till there?
No,
Then
ma'am.
let me know. So this was the whole concept. It was a lecture, very first lecture of your quadratic. Next class, we will cover this common roots and Newton's formula, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Navya, attendance form no need, because attendance will be already captured by our automatic system. Earlier attendance form was given to you because there was a difference between your registered mobile and your already class joined mobile. That's why. And no worries. Whenever you leave the class, na, one attendance is already recorded with me. That also gives me how much time you entered in the class, at what time, and when you left the class, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then. Good evening, everyone. If you're facing any difficulty, any doubt, just let me know, or just come to me or give me a call if you're facing any issue regarding to anything.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.